Hello, I'm Philip Sneed, President and CEO of the ArvadaCenter for the Arts and Humanities. First, I want to say thank you to those who donated last week for Giving Tuesday Now. Although our campaign to reignite the arts has just begun, you can click on the link below to see how much we've raised to date. If you haven't given, please consider making a donation today. We still have a long way to go, but I'm so grateful for the generosity of our community. Thank you. As we look to reopen our doors and reignite the arts, one thing becomes clear. The key to our creativity is our people. Songs are not sung, stage sets are not built, choreography is not taught, and canvases are not painted on their own. It takes a group of very talented and creative individuals to make the ArvadaCenter what it is today. In the coming weeks, I want you to get to know some of the people behind the creativity you've grown to love and expect from the ArvadaCenter. There are roughly 50 full-time employees, plus hundreds of teachers, contract artists, and seasonal workers who make up the ArvadaCenter family. Today I'd like you to meet Collin Parson, Director and Curator of Galleries. Collin is passionate about what he does and is the biggest advocate for keeping our galleries free. He believes that everyone should have a beautiful place to experience the arts without any socioeconomic barriers.
Hello, my name's Collin Parson. I'm the Director of Galleries and Curator at the ArvadaCenter.
Known to my friends and family as Chuck. I'm the father of Collin Parson. I'm sitting in the backyard that he, in essence, was raised in. All of our children were raised in a very creative climate. When the children were being raised, I was doing, amongst many things commercially to make a living, I was doing amusement park design. So the backyard became a miniature amusement park in which the children found a way to participate, to not only be part of the sensibility of playfulness with what was already there, but they invented things.
This was the environment. This environment is, my dad's a sculptor, so this is where he does his welding and his grinding and some cutting. I grew up on the west side, driving past the ArvadaCenter and to the ArvadaCenter as a kid all my life. Actually, I was helping my dad install an exhibition of his work in our main floor gallery, and the then director asked me to start as someone who, do you want to start hanging art? I was like, I could get paid to hang art? I think my dad was upset because he knew he could no longer just pay me in pizza. I became the exhibition designer and then worked my way up to the curator and director.
He and his staff at the ArvadaCenter set up the initial idea of the sculpture in the field. I don't think anyone quite understands that the ArvadaCenter suddenly was taking advantage not only of the beautiful acreage, but the ArvadaCenter was presenting the opportunity to have 3 different generations of sculptors out there.
And I think definitely I get a lot of ideas from visiting him and seeing what he's doing. Everything from, he's painting a mural in his studio right now, and he's doing it on panels, that way they could just be put directly onto whatever building or facade. And that kind of triggered an idea of, what if we gave panels to all these artists and they painted at the ArvadaCenter, and then they take these panels and hopefully put them out throughout the community. So that was one idea. Just being surrounded by sculpture, and we have that field at the ArvadaCenter, let's put sculpture in the field. Let's use them, knowing my dad's peers and the next generation of sculptors, let's highlight some of the region's best sculptors. And then even as simple as his rocking chair. Every artist has a chair that they value, that they look at their work in, that they rest in, and so we featured an exhibit of artists and their studio chairs a while back. So not all the ideas, but definitely visiting here is definitely a way for one to discover new ideas and approaches. So I've been at the ArvadaCenter, wow, since 2004. 2005 was when I was officially hired. I'm lucky that I give artists the opportunity to show their work to the world and to the region. There are many talented people and artists out there, and I get the lucky opportunity to find them and discover them and work with them. Not only am I a curator, I'm also a professional artist. That's my other day job, as I would call it, other than being a dad. So it's curator, dad, artist. That's the trifecta. I work in light and space. That's kind of my media. When I say light and space, it's about one's perception, experience of looking or being immersed in that art. My son would be definitely the project I would be most proud of. And I would say my favorite part of working at the ArvadaCenter is working with the artists and the people and the creatives around me. That means my colleagues, and that also means the artists that we exhibit. Being a multidisciplinary arts center, you know, raised as someone surrounded with the mom as a modern dancer and a dad as an artist, and then being in theater, it kind of really was all encompassing. So it's great to not only be the gallery director, but just being exposed to that art all day, every day. I think my dad mentioned in a story that we drove across the country to install a sculpture of his in New York, and we drove all the way. It took forever. We got the sculpture up, and all I got, other than pizza, was a shirt that said "Support Living Artists," and I thought that was actually quite an impactful shirt, just because in 3 words, I think it's everything my dad went through and has gone through as an artist, everything I go through as an artist. It's a challenge, and it's hard to be a professional artist. It's hard to put your work out emotionally, it's physically, it's a financial strain. So at the ArvadaCenter, we try our best to support living artists, and we try to encourage artists to be their best.